all them guys wasted all that money and they got nothing.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, it was a fun time. It was a really fun time. So yeah, but yeah, how was your day, Tom?
You had the fire thing, didn't you? I saw something about with the kids.
Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, that was Saturday. Okay.
Yeah. Active shooter, active training.
I came up from the lake. I had my dad's birthday party and my nephew's
Happy birthday.
party. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Papa Sully.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live.
Wait, we're talking right now live?
Yeah, we're talking live.
Oh,
live.
hi world. I thought we were just shooting the.
We are.
But you're not. I can't swear, right?
Yeah, try not to.
We're shooting the breeze. I thought we were just shooting the breeze before we were going live. I didn't know we were actually live.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody out in Facebook land.
Yeah, I usually we'll be talking and I'll just hit record or start live right away. So
and don't tell anybody.
Just don't tell. So it's more natural because there's people that lock up right away. They see me click live.
Who locked up the worst?
Oh man, probably Nathan or Maddie.
Oh really?
The first time Maddie was on, she locked up pretty good. So, but yeah. So awesome. Well, welcome back to the Bench Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Crane, and with me I have Mike Sullivan. Sully.
How you doing?
And Tom Brown from Next Gen Pumps and Winged 604 and Wingless Driver. Thank you, Tom and Mike, for coming.
But of course.
Thanks for having us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a pretty good show lined up for you. We're going to be talking the top 10 list of the Wisconsin Wingless drivers. We'll be talking a little bit about Sully and Tom's racing background. And at the end of our show, Tom here has some top secret news that he'll be releasing, so stick around for that. And then time dependent, we might be playing a game, which will be back and forth, which was always fun. And since we're talking about the top end of the drivers, I thought for our game we should talk about the guys that try really hard. So we're talking B-main winners as the game, so that'll be fun. Please comment where you're watching. Please interact too, because this is going to be a really fun episode.
Or it could get really ugly.
This
is an episode that makes me really uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable. I think last time you were on, we had something that made you really uncomfortable.
Probably.
Rate It, that's what it was.
Oh, Rate It.
We should have played Rate It. He got so nervous.
Yeah. Well, I was drinking last time, and today I'm not, so I'm...
So you're more
nervous now. Yes. Yes. Plus, Rate It is, I think, is better than Rate Other People.
Rate other people?
Yeah.
I mean,
rate other drivers, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel it's easier to rate yourself or other drivers?
No, it's easier to criticize myself than it is for me to criticize anybody else.
Tom? Same. Okay. All right. Good to know. I always feel it's easier to criticize other people, but what you're criticizing in other people is what you're the most insecure about with yourself.
Yeah, right. It's kind of reflecting right back on you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't give myself.
You
should be better.
Yeah. You should be better than this. Oh, man. And then before I forget, follow us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify at Crane Racing LLC. And then also in the description, there's a link for our live show August 5th at Hold My Beer for the live audience.
Cool.
Guest to be determined.
Cool.
So please comment who you think should be on. But yeah, and then Ashley's watching from above, and Zelski wants to know how the casting couch is.
Well, tell him to get down here and try it out.
You should turn the camera.
How is it? It's empty.
Gray.
Yeah.
It's not black. It's gray.
Jeff Curcio was supposed to be here, but he's in his bedroom pretending like he's still fishing in Ohio on the boat. He's rocking back and forth and puking in the bathroom, I think is what I heard. I don't know.
Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't see him at work today, which I thought he had off, but I was actually kind of surprised that he didn't text me today about, I'll be there. So, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm sorry, Sully, I'm not coming. And he explained to me what happened, and I'm like, just stay home and rock in your bedroom.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's okay. We'll see you another time.
Someone sent him the link. Oh, that's from Tater, Alan Halfrood.
He's got a paid subscription. He's okay.
Yeah. He gets the videos first.
Early release.
So really quickly, just so that everyone kind of knows who is on our panel for judging, drivers in the top 10. We're going to talk a little bit briefly about Sully's and Tom Brown's racing backgrounds. So Sully, briefly, what did you race for, how long, and where?
Okay, so I started off in mini mods in the really late 90s. In fact, I think I was probably 29 when I started racing mini mods. I raced for Jerry Haywood, and I raced mini mods for a couple of years, maybe not even quite a couple of years, and then I ended up buying a modified and a trailer and spares and everything off of God rest his soul, a guy named Scott Heath, who used to race out at the track, for the sum of $2,500. And it was an ex-sportsman car that Jimmy Joe Urbanek used to drive, that him and Larry Marshall, Ryan Marshall's father, put together. And so that was my first modified. Had a timing chain for a steering quickener. So that's how that whole thing got started. That's how it all got started.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that's
then,
how it got started.
Yep. And then Tom, how did you start racing? You ran modifieds first,
My
right?
uncle ran street stocks and hobby stocks, and I got to hot lap it a couple times in the 80s. And then when I got out of the service, Mike was running them mini mods, and I built my first modified, home built it, and that thing was a huge piece of crap.
As so many of them were back then.
Right. And then I had that for 2 seasons, and then I bought a huger piece from this guy and brought it to Larry, and they cut the whole back end off.
Which piece?
That thing from Heath, it was stubbed. It was a real short-tailed.
You didn't buy that?
Yeah.
No, Tim Morton bought that car for me.
I bought it.
No, Tim raced it.
When the shop was with what's his name on 83, we were in that shop for the whole summer. 83 in Lake Villa.
No, then you bought the car that I bought from Vince Haywood.
Oh.
That was built by Tony Jenkins and Tony Jenkins and Lee Tibbetts built that car. It was a speedway kit car.
Yeah, it was a short tail. So
first car I ever.
Larry and Jimmy Joe chopped it right behind the driver's seat and put a whole brand new back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then 10 years later, we both stopped, and then 10 years later after that, he started racing Wingless, and I said, well, I'll try that once.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, Tom is also on the emergency crew for Wilmot, right? You have been.
He's an EMT.
An EMT, which is actually the first time I met him was after flipping Dan Wade's car.
Yep.
And Tom drove the other team MSR car in 2022.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
The
then
number spare car, the 99.
The number 99.
all right, so Sully.
Yes.
Why X9?
It was actually two reasons. It's pretty simple.
I'm just doing this.
Yeah, because I know you already know the answer. But there were a lot of 9s, and so I was kind of forced to be 9X, and I just thought it would be kind of neat to stand out and have a big X with a 9. Plus, now my dorkness is going to start to show. But everybody knows that's mostly older. That in the Speed Racer cartoons, that his big brother Racer X was the much better driver. He just let Speed win all the time, and of course he was number 9. He was Racer X, and he had a number 9 on his car. So
nice.
X9. That's where it comes from.
And then Tom Brown, 99X, but that's not your number. Your number is 88.
Right. My number was 88 in modifieds, and then Mike had a spare car, and we wanted to keep it similar to the 9, so we did 99.
Yeah.
99X. Yep. And then why did you pick 88?
Oh, I know
Jared.
that. Yeah, I was gonna say I know the answer to that one.
Yeah, there you
I love
go.
that man almost more than my wife.
Oh God!
Whoa.
We got some man love going on over here.
I had a huge racing crush on that guy. He was the whole thing, and I had a plaque with his autograph. I won at Dave Holden, one of our racers, for modified dice. Yeah. I won it at one of his racing parties. It was in my living room, and one day I showed up and it was gone, and I was like, "Where did that go?" And my wife's like, "Paul, We put that downstairs in the closet 6 months ago. You haven't even noticed it's been missing.
It's okay. Yeah, I've done
It's
that.
kind of like this room. She just kind of keeps shoving my stuff down there.
Dave Holden handed me my very first feature win trophy in a modified on Dave's American Discount Muffler Night or Discount American Muffler Night.
We were
One of the
roommates when I got on this.
Were you roommates? Oh, I didn't know that. I knew you guys all hung out, but
Yeah, his wife and my mom are best friends.
no.
Nickname Sully.
Yeah.
Sully. Obviously
Obvious.
just shortened for
Yeah.
Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other nicknames that we can say on air?
No, I can't think of any offhand.
Okay. And then Tom Brown. I know we call you TB, Downtown, Tommy Brown. Any other
Yeah.
ones?
Nikki says, "What can Brown do for you?" Or Brown
Yeah.
Cow. She likes using Brown Cow.
Yeah.
Brown cow. Okay. Okay. You want any of those to stick?
No.
No.
It doesn't
No.
matter. You can
Yeah.
call me whatever you want.
Babbitts calls me all of my names: Mike, Sully, and Sullivan.
Mike Sully.
Mike Sully.
I think he thinks my middle name is Sully.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Did you say Ryan's on there?
Let's see. I don't know if Ryan's on here. Is he Marshall or
No,
Zelski?
Zelski.
He was
yeah.
on there.
He was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's on.
So does Babbitts pronounce your name correctly, Ryan? 'Cause
You mean
he says
Zielski?
Zielski.
Zielski. It's Ryan Zielski.
So I think Babbitts pronounces it wrong, but I also think I pronounce it wrong. Because Tiny Horse Johnson was the one that was like, no, it's this way. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. I've said it since 2017 this way. It's not right. Oh, man.
I just thought
Awesome.
it was funny how he does it. So.
Awesome. So in the bonus portion, we'll get into more of your racing background
Sure,
and
you
stuff
bet.
like that.
Yep.
Because we have a heavy hitter topic, and that is our list of our top 10 Wisconsin wingless drivers. This is from 2015 to current day. So basically, there's a little parameters there where you could use a little bit, very little bit of your grading based on what they did outside, because I feel like that should be something, but it can't make them number one in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And this had to be their third season or at least 3 seasons of racing.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure like they're being more consistent, because I mean everyone has a hot year,
Right.
and then they drop or they could drop. So we just want to make sure that was consistent. And I forgot if there was any other. It's my show, and I totally forgot. But yeah, so the first question, or well, actually first is, this is not to bully anyone or make anyone feel bad or hurt feelings. That's not what we're doing. I just feel that, 10 years in the Wisconsin Wingless, I feel that there should start to be talks about like who is the best driver, and if you're not on the list, try harder.
Oh my god.
It's true.
I know, but it's
Like-
the whole topic is just making me really uncomfortable.
I know.
I hate ranking people.
Yep. And then as you see it, as we go through the rankings and spots of where people are, this isn't to bully any one of our panelists of why we voted in a certain way.
We would
And-
definitely be bullying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this guy, man. Oh.
What did you say?
If you didn't hear it, do like.
I know, right?
Yep. And then at the end of our list, we will be able to veto one person, whether that means we think the driver's too low or too high on the list, but we're not
Are
changing.
we
the
vetoing
overall.
them or are them?
So like let's just say there's a driver that is ranked 8th, but you think he should be number 2. You're like, this driver should be number 2 in
Okay.
your eyes.
All right.
In your eyes.
Got it.
But we're not going to change the whole master list.
Understood.
All right. And to be nominated is really great too. So we're talking top 10, but I asked for 15 drivers just to get more of an average. I feel an average of 3/12 is better than 110. So out of the 15 drivers that I asked for, we have 23 different drivers. So a lot of the same, but there are a few drivers that made it into one of our lists and not the other two, which we'll kind of go into that briefly. And yeah, and Facebook, if you feel that there's a driver that's not listed or listed, whether it's too low, too high, please feel free to.
Or you don't
comment.
agree.
Or you even don't agree.
I'd like to see
That's
some of
true.
that.
You can have your opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody's
We
entitled
got
to one.
mine.
We all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently we are.
Yep. All right. So before I take
Without
off,
further ado.
without further ado, I'm going to ask. We'll start with Tom. How did you rank, or what was your method of ranking?
You told me I was not allowed to use any of their previous racing career. It had to be in the wingless, so I used wingless only stuff.
Okay.
And then I thought it was fair to make the top of my list had to at least have won a championship.
Okay.
And then from there down, I used some statistics, but I didn't.
You didn't dig.
I didn't spend
Yeah.
maybe 30 minutes looking at stats, and I put a lot of just what I feel, and some people I like, and I move them higher than maybe they should be, but it was my gut. So.
Yep. Hey, honesty is great. And again, like I said, this isn't the end all be all. This is just for fun. And thank you so much for doing research. Appreciate it.
I did not do much research.
I know. Before I asked Sully, I told Ashley, I was like, I'm going to be a dentist after I get Sully's list because it's like pulling teeth with him.
Yeah, well, I have a hard time. I have a hard time with the whole list.
Three
thing in general.
times. He's like,
Yeah.
I got my list. I'm like, send it to me. He's
No,
like,
I
all
change
right.
it. No, I
No,
change it.
he's like, all right, here it is. He gives it to me. He's like, but these are not in order. I'm like,
They're not
that
in order.
doesn't- it
I just
doesn't
want to put them in
mean-
order. I just want to give you my
doesn't
top
mean
and
that.
not in necessarily any order.
Yeah, because he wants to be able to change his answers.
Yeah,
You
on the
cheater.
fly.
So
On the fly.
no. So if anybody wants to know out there in TV land,
TV.
my basis were my basis for my picks were not on stats. They were just on from my gut and racing against guys in the past and just kind of seeing what's going on. I didn't go look at wins or anything like that.
So I feel like that's really good because it's got a little bit, and I went more of the statistical route.
Mhm.
So we have more of by the heart, statistically, and a little bit of both. So this is going to be, I mean, when I did it, I brought it to Ashley and I was like, this is it. And she's like, how do you feel about the list? I'm like, I actually, like, if this was an actual, like, posted by the Wisconsin Wingless on their website, I'd be like, yeah, that, I
Makes
can't
sense.
argue. I can't argue anybody.
Okay.
Maybe some guys around a little bit here or there, but, like, the top 10 is solid. So then, yeah, so like I said, I did statistically. I made my list, and then I backed it by statistics. Now, I don't know about you, but finding 10 drivers was actually pretty easy.
Yeah,
It was more the fifth of like the last five where I was like, who could I try to argue in?
It's super easy to find 10 because any 10 could win any night, and everybody knows that. And so that's why it's nearly impossible to rank people, you know.
But
So,
here we are.
Here we are ranking away.
Yeah, I thought like the top 8 was tough to
Get
I
in
had
order.
my champions, and since I gave myself that parameter, that made it a little easier. But if it was totally on guts or just wins or something, that would have been really hard to put them 8 in a certain level.
Yep.
I didn't factor.
And there was
championships
other
in.
ones that I think you're going to go over, but holy cow,
Yeah.
Wilkie.
Yeah.
Who?
So
Is she
the
talking
guys
about
we-
him or me?
The guys we couldn't put in
Yeah.
because Wilkie didn't meet the minimum criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he was a guy I thought
I tried to put him in
definitely
too.
get him in.
Yeah.
I tried to put. We'll probably talk about.
But
some of them maybe should have made the list.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's not even in the honorable mention, is he? Because he didn't.
He is in the honorable
Is he?
mention.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because I had to look back and I was like,
I didn't put him in there, but because he
Yeah.
said he had to make 3 years.
Needs to be in the honorable mention, by the way. Just
Yeah.
okay, I just want to make sure you had him in there.
Well, we're also going to be talking about other drivers
Okay, good.
that weren't eligible, but we would talk about
Okay.
like Cuxhouse Hansen, First F,
Yeah.
all those.
Okay.
We'll talk about them towards the end of the show. All right. All right. So basically, real quickly, Tom did his list. Sully doesn't know it.
Nope.
Sully did his list. Tom doesn't know it. The only one that knows it is me.
That's
and
true.
I compiled it all
And
together.
you did yours before reading ours.
Yeah, and I did mine.
Okay.
And the thing that sucked, and we'll get to him. I was like, I totally forgot about him. And then I was telling Ashley, do I change? And she's like, no, you can't change. I'm like, okay, I will have to.
Did one of us clue you in about forgetting somebody?
Let's just say both did.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that's what made me. I was like, oh no, both of them.
Both of us. Okay, that'd
All
be interesting.
right.
So did you averaged them out? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, I averaged everything.
Oh,
out,
so nobody's gonna know exactly where I picked or where he
No,
picked.
we're gonna.
No,
Oh, come on!
Do it.
We're gonna know that.
I don't want
Yeah.
anybody to know that.
All right, so here are our honorable mentions, which are drivers that either got 1 vote from us or 2 very low votes. So we have not ranked is Tom Eller on Sully's list. We have Jimmy Kuba, which was on my list. CJ Malik, which was on TB's list, Tom Brown's, which that was one, not the driver, but one where I was like, yeah. We have Tate Hensley, which is on Sully's list. Eric Wilkie, Sully's list, which I forgot to tell you that, but at that point I was like, okay. Jake Kuba was on my list. Matt Vanderveer was one.
Wait,
And you have him on your list.
I have him on my list.
Yeah, you had him on your list.
Did he run through yours?
But did he? That's the thing.
That's the thing, is that he ran
That's
one
the
year,
thing.
but he's ran more than 1 year. So,
Right. So
but
he was
I
in-
look at him more of a better, not better, but he's a really good wingless driver. But he is, I feel like I grade him more for his wing stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I let that one slide, Sully.
We're missing one of my other ones. Okay.
Well, you didn't put him on your
Well,
list.
that's because.
So that's
not
how
why.
good this is. And then the last one for honorable mention was Rusty Egan, who was on TV's list and my list. So yeah. Yes, Tom Eller. Tom Eller is definitely from the heart.
I don't know how I missed Egan, but
Yep, but you did.
but it's not because I don't think he's good.
Yep.
Anyway,
All right, and then one other driver that Sully forgot to put was, you can say his name now.
my buddy Bryce Andrews,
But he's my buddy
which
too.
which
Yeah.
which I don't know why. Yeah, he definitely would have been in there. So
Yep.
apologize for that.
He was right at my
Cut line.
13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
He would have definitely been.
And I think he's definitely going to move his.
He would definitely be
this year and the next.
He would have
Yes.
been between my 10 and 15.
He's getting a lot of
but,
seat time.
but anyway.
Yep.
So I don't know why I brain farted on that one.
It's
But.
all good. It's okay. I brain farted on one too, and when we get to him, you're gonna be like, really? So Joseph G here says Tom Eller. Yep. Honorable mention. So just to be mentioned or honored, mentioned, whatever. Good. All right. So here we go. We're starting at number 15.
David Letter. It's like it's the old David Letterman.
Mm.
Right. All right, good.
Sorry, audio listeners. All right. Number 15. Jordan Matson, the 2017 Wilmot and IRA champion. He has 5 wins, 30 top 5s, 40 top 10s, 52 starts, and he was ranked 10th on my list, not ranked on Tom Brown's, and not ranked on Sully's. So the reason why
No, he was on my list.
He was not on your list.
And I don't even know him.
No, I'm on.
I kind of figured that
No, I was not in Wingless.
I thought for sure he
back
was
then.
on my list.
maybe it was one of your first lists, but not your final list. That's why. Just give me your final
Oh, I'm
list.
confused now. Now I don't even know who's on my list anymore.
Bryce Andrews, Dan
Yeah, I know.
Sully.
Yeah. We're gonna hear the end of that.
So I put him on my list just because I think even though I was really early in the series, still winning both championships is still. I mean, it came down to the wire with him and Tim. So that's why I put him 10th. He ran, I think, 3 or 4 years. But yeah, so Tom, I knew you weren't going to rank him probably because you weren't really around there.
He was ranked on my list. I don't know.
21, 22 is when I started watching.
Yeah,
Wingless.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Number 14. Doug Schenk,
How did I miss Doug?
the 2015 Wilmot champion, which was
Yeah.
before it was sanctioned.
Should have done some more research.
And my note here is always the maid of honor and never the bride, because he had between the IRA and the Wilmot championships, he's finished second like 6 times, 7 times. Like,
There's
it
always
was
the
just
bridesmaid.
Always the bridesmaid. Yep. He has 9 wins, 35 top 5s, 45 top 10s, and 60 A main starts. He was ranked 8th on my list, not ranked on Tom Brown's list, and not ranked on Sully's
Only
list.
because I forgot.
Again,
Which is
another one.
stupid. There's another one I can just thought of Craig.
Yep.
Craig's not on my list either because I don't know. I should have paid more attention.
I knew it was probably not going to be on Tom Brown's again because it was so.
As soon as you
So
said
back in
Doug,
the
I
day.
went, oh, crap.
Yep.
The list you're reading off, is this your list or our combined
Our
list?
combined.
So you're not mentioning where he was on your list.
8th. Sorry, 8th. He was
Okay.
8th on my list.
You're saying that he's not on ours, but he...
Sorry,
Yeah,
I thought I was.
No,
Yeah.
You're telling us 14th, so... But he was 8th, so an 8th and a 0 and a 0 got 14th?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Because, like I said, we have a lot of the same drivers, just in different orders. So
Okay.
that's why, like, these ones that are hit like up really high on one of our lists
Yeah.
is sticking to the 15 through 11 just because it's so high.
on one.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
on one. Alrighty. Yeah, so that's Doug Schenk, number 14.
Coming
And-
in at number 13.
Yep, and Zelski says all with huge motors.
So maybe he wants
Yeah.
them disqualified anyway, right off the bat. Oh, 16 wasn't legal either. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's on my list though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All right. In 13, we have Greg Olson with 3 wins, 12 top 5s, 37 top 10s, 72 A-main starts. He was not ranked on my list and Tom Brown's list.
He's ranked on mine.
But on Sully's, he was 6th.
Yes.
Why?
Because every time I race him, he's hard as hell. He's a talented driver. He's not at the track a lot. I don't think he comes there to run for championships or anything like that. He just shows up and
He has fun.
goes fast. And I don't think he necessarily always has the best equipment. I mean, I think his engines are probably good. He knows how to build them and stuff. But no, I mean he's fast. I raced against him. I stand by that.
Yep, we got Joseph G here saying Zachy Poo Radar. He's got also Doug Shank, Tim Cox, and Todd Clear. Yep. All really good.
All good ones.
All solid drivers. All right. So since you said 6, I'll say why I didn't rank him.
Yeah.
I just feel with the top 10, the top 10 should all have championship runs, I should say. Like consistency in the championship with their finishing.
Well, mine was more.
So that's the only
I told you
reason,
what mine was about.
like-
More like who I raced against, like who I've had good battles with, and
Yeah.
seen do.
When I
certain
saw
things.
your list, I'm like, Sully is using his heart and the jazz hands effect. Like, how crazy are
just
are
did.
yeah,
Just
yep,
did it.
yep.
Just like sort of. Yeah.
All right, in 12th, we have Nathan Crane.
Yeah. Okay.
2 wins, 17 top 5s, 47 top 10s, and 99 starts, A-main starts.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that I forgot.
Your own brother.
My own brother.
Love it.
And man, I am red because
That's awesome.
and it just right. But he was ranked 11th on Tom Brown's and 12th on Sully's list.
Correct. Yep.
After seeing those, I'm like, yeah, I would probably if I were have to redo my order, I would probably
Put him in there?
Yeah. There is him and one other driver, which was Greg Olson, where I didn't do stats before I got your list back because I was like, for one, I didn't think about Nathan. 2, I wasn't really thinking that Greg Olson would have been on there. He did cross my mind though, so I had to go back and do stats. Well, when I did his stats, I was like, okay, I would comfortably put him just outside the top 10.
Okay.
But sorry, Nathan, I love you.
Sorry, Nathan, for your brother.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't do statistics.
It's on his
I
list.
just like Nathan. and I
Yeah.
put him on the list.
Right. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
All right, in 11th place, our first driver that has all 3 of us voting for him, Zach Radar,
Oh.
Zachy Poo,
Yeah.
with
Yep.
6 wins, 26 top 5s, 39 top 10s, 61 starts. He was ranked 14th on my list, 13th on Tom Brown's list, and 10th on Sully's list.
Correct.
Sully, or I asked you last time, Tom, why was Zach 13th?
Well, he wasn't high enough because I think when Zach was winning a lot of races was before I was paying attention. But when he does come out, he only comes here or there, and he was changing car owners. So,
Yeah.
But every time he comes, I like watching him run the high side. And
Yeah.
he is definitely full throttle. So
The high side
He
pirate.
keeps going. He's gonna move up on my next year list. I can tell you that.
Yes.
The way he's going.
Yep. And I put him 14th because he wins futures. His ratio, A-main starts to top 10s, is pretty solid. 61 starts, 39 top 10s. Like, that's pretty solid.
yeah.
But again, I feel like with your list, the greatest drivers have to have had either a championship for sure, or at least a really strong championship run. So that is our 15 through 11
Mm-hmm.
Honorable mention.
and honorable mentions. Yes. And yes, Joseph, I did forget my own brother, and I felt so bad. And I was going to cheat and change it, but then I was like, nope, then that's using their list to change my mind. And I was just like, I'm going to roll with it.
I changed mine four or 5 times, I think, and still screwed it up somehow.
And Tom, how many lists did you do before you sent me your final?
I just had one piece of paper.
You had one piece of paper?
Yeah.
Okay. I did too. So Sully was the one that was changing.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
lots of pieces of paper.
I had one.
Yeah. All right, now 10 we'll go through 10 through 5 real quick. Not real quick.
10 through 6.
10 through 6, sorry. Thank you. 10 through 6. Math is hard.
Yeah, this, math is bad.
10 through 6. Not real quick, obviously. But were there any numbers in your top 10s, without saying names, were there any numbers where you're like, these are real, like the drivers are so close it's hard to order them?
Oh my God! Yeah.
The
top 10.
This was the hardest to do. I think 1 through 5, it was easy to pick them. It was just hard to put them were they second or third.
Okay.
But it was hard to, like, these guys deserve to be right here in 5th or 8th.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was really difficult.
Mine was 10, 9, and 8 were really hard. 7 and 6 were like, okay. And then 5, I feel it was kind of out of the zone. But like 1 through 4 was like, I don't like. It was almost like I had to flip a coin for like which driver's which, because you can make an argument for any of these 4 guys for sure to be like, these are.
I rattled off my list. Okay, boom, 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 real quick, like my first one. And I went, oh crap, I forgot this person and this person and this person and this person. And then at the end of the day, I still forgot people like Bryce and Doug and Craig and some of these guys I completely forgot about. So I should have probably put in a little more homework.
I wasn't like. You called me last week. Who am I forgetting? I'm like, I'm not telling you who you're forgetting.
Yeah,
I see your
for the
list,
heads up.
and there are drivers you're forgetting. But if you forgot them, they're not that good. Not that good, but not that great. I'll say. Not that
They're
great.
all good.
Yeah, they're all good.
I just forgot them.
Yeah.
So,
oh, by the way,
you know what's not good? My memory. That's what's not. That's what's not great.
Yeah.
So.
Hang on, I forgot to say. You'd have to go back to 18th or 19th spot.
For what?
You'd have to go to 20th spot on our list for a driver not to have a feature win.
Oh wow. Oh
so,
wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. And there's drivers too that are not even on our list that have won features. That could be So all right, number 10.
10. Here we go.
Taters.
All right.
Fun fact: in 9 years, his worst championship finish in the Wisconsin Wingless is 6th place.
Yeah, I think I had him higher than 10th on my list. Didn't I?
7 wins, 58 top 5s, 108 top 10s, which is second for all-time top 10
He's
finishes.
pretty consistent.
And 153 starts. He was ranked 9th on my list, 9th on Tom's list, and not ranked.
What do you mean he wasn't on my list? He was on my list.
Your first list.
Are you telling me that these guys went off on my list?
Yeah, we got
on my first list. He was up in the top 10. Don't you remember that?
Not the one you sent me.
Can I see my old list, please?
After we'll go through it again. We'll go through it. I wrote it down.
How am I forgetting
the way? Okay, you sent me the list. You said it's not in order. I'm like, is it in order? Then you're like, oh, switch this guy and this guy around. So I switched them around. I sent it. I texted you back. I was like, is this the order? And you're like, yes. Then I wrote it down.
Are you sure? Because I screwed this whole list up.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm glad I did, because my list doesn't mean anything to anybody now.
Well, just wait. It gets better.
Oh, great.
Yep. So Tater is ranked 10th. I think 9th and 9th. I mean,
Alan, just so you know, I don't know what happened. I forgot about you too, but I forgot about Doug. So you're in good company, and Bryce too. But you were up further than I had you ranked higher than these guys. Okay.
Yeah. So 9th. Yep, but 6th worst finish in 9 years, but also his best I think was 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 3rd or 4th. So that's super consistent, and again, 2nd on the all-time top 10 list for Wisconsin Wingless top 10. So very good. 9th place. Now buckle up.
gonna get bumpy.
This is gonna get bumpy. Chris Klemko, 2020 track champion. And he has never missed a Wisconsin Wingless event. He's shown up at every single one. Okay. He has 3 wins, 36 top 5s, 104 top 10s, which is ranked 3rd on the highest for top 10 finishes, 157 starts,
been around since
which is the highest A-main appearances. Is 157.
He's been around since it started.
Yep. He was ranked 6th on my list, 10th on Tom Brown's list, and 15th on Sully's list.
I thought he was 14th. Okay. Well, I don't know.
No, I just took one glance at your list and was like, this is good enough. We're going to have a lot of people tuning in to see who the top 10 is. I'm like, nah, this looks good from Sully.
Gives you a lot to talk about.
All right, so I had him ranked 6th because he's just super consistent, especially in top 10. And track champion and has never missed a feature or never missed an event, so that is just crazy in itself there. So I felt that was for sure top 10 worthy. We'll go with Sully. Why'd you?
I didn't realize how good his stats were, to be honest. I mean, and obviously he's a champion. He should have been ranked higher. I think that when I went through the list and then started forgetting people, he should just be happy that he actually is on the list, since there's guys that aren't even on my list. So he should be happy he even made it on a piece of paper. The way I was going.
Yeah. Actually, who let Sully have all this responsibility?
That was right.
Yep. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. All right. Number 8. Todd Lear.
Yeah.
2016 Track and Series champion. He has 7 wins, 15 top 5s, 15 top 10s. He has 18 starts. He was ranked 11th on my list, 5th on Tom Brown's list, and 8th on Sully's list.
Mm-hmm.
I ranked him 11th because I was obviously the lowest one in the ranking of that, just because he didn't really have a defending year of his championship. But at the same time, I was like, I can't just ignore the fact that he won a championship and he shouldn't even be on the list. So that's why I was like, I feel like he should be one just outside looking in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, you ranked him 5th.
He was the first, right?
The first series.
Right.
First series, yeah.
Right. So
That's my
I
stomach, by the way.
remembered that first year that it came out, and I remember watching Todd a few times, and then I didn't watch. So a lot of these guys like Klemko and Tater were dominating and really good during the years I wasn't paying attention to what was happening. So like what you'll see on my list going after these guys is they're all the guys that have been really fast the last 3 years and really dominating on my list. That's because I used a lot of just memory, not stats.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like, I feel that the panel is very diverse instead of we're all very statistical, because if it would just be like,
right.
this
you
is
just
it.
tell
Or if
me
you go
what they
all
are stats.
Yeah.
Right.
Or if you go all by heart, it'd just
Mine's
be
easy.
If you remembered them.
Yeah, if you remember.
Well, yeah, they helped me with setups and stuff like that. And on when I came to race in 2016, I won the heat and finished second in the feature to him. I think if the caution hadn't come out, Todd, if you're watching, I think I would have beat him. And then I ran second to him. I was second in points behind him all year until I hit the wall at Angel Park.
Yep.
So I raced. I pitted next to him and raced against him a lot, and I know that he's a fast racer, so that's why he's at on my list.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Now number 7. Don't know why this guy's on here. He likes to slide into other people a lot. Bend up right side Nerf bars. Derek Crane. Never heard of him.
Derek Crane?
Yep, Derek Crane. 7th. 9
Can I
wins.
have him on my list?
9 wins, 49 top 5s, 89 top 10s, 123 starts. Man, time flies. I ranked myself 13th because I did after I made my 3, 2, 1 go rough draft. I was like, let me just see what my stats go against or are up against. So I was like, yeah, I'm not anywhere near the top 10, but yeah. So I just jotted 13. Tom Brown has me 7th, and Sully, my new best friend, has me number 1. No, I'm kidding. 4.
I did have you at number 4. That's true.
Yeah, if you put me number 1, I'd be like, no, it's just because you're on the show.
Right.
Like, that's why. Yeah, no. So Sully, why am I so high on your list?
Well, because you got right at it when you were. First of all, I thought we were both racing for Rookie of the Year, and then I was informed by Steve Sinclair that I couldn't run for Rookie of the Year, which I was confused by since I'd never ran a sprint car before. But he said, you beat me for Rookie of the Year in 2016. Yeah. And so, and I think you might have won a feature that year, or you won one in 17. Anyway, you are one of those guys that was a rookie that started to get really good really fast, and then you went and tried some other things in Indiana and things like that. So I know it's supposed to be. Plus, you're the host of the show, damn it. You get automatically bumped up a spot or two just for that.
Oh, okay. So
And you're
really
my young hero.
Oh, you're
one
right.
of them. There's a couple, but you're
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I played the politic game. Tom, 7th for me. Any particular reason?
No.
Well, apparently, statistically, it worked out. I'm the smart one.
Yeah,
I
you're the
picked you
smart one.
7th, and
Yeah.
you're 7th.
Wow.
You win a lot, but you didn't have a championship, so you weren't in the top 5 or
Exactly.
6. So.
I've never had a championship run. So that's another reason why I was 13th. All right, number 6. Derek Crane, who is that? Who's that guy?
Who's that, Nathan?
Who's that guy? No, Joseph G. Who's that
Number
guy?
6.
Number 6. Chris Dodd, the 2019 series champion. Which, if I'm doing my math correctly, he was actually the fastest champion, as in from the first time he raced a wingless car to the start of his year of winning a
He had
championship.
some experience behind him.
Yep, a lot of experience.
Wouldn't that be Todd Lear? Since he started
I
wingless
mean-
and won that year?
I mean, yeah, but do
That
they
would
count?
be
Second
fast
year.
as you
15 was the first year.
Oh.
Did
Who-
Dodd win his first year out?
Who was the first
His
champion?
first full. Chris Dodd, his first full season won a championship.
Yeah,
Okay.
but who was the 15 champion? He won his
Oh,
first year of racing.
Well, Klemko. But I
There
mean,
you go. So
I mean,
Klemko's the
yeah,
fastest.
Or not Klemko.
Not Klemko.
Shank. Sorry,
Shank,
Shank.
yeah,
So Shank is the fastest. He
Yeah,
raced 1 year and won.
but series.
All right, Chris Dodd, number
anyways,
6.
Chris Dodd, number 6.
That makes sense.
9 wins, 43 top 5s, 61 top 10s, 76 starts. He was ranked 7th on my list, 6th on Tom Brown's list, and 9th on Sully's list. David Wallace, Rossman was a champion first year. Well, maybe he didn't make our list. We'll find out if Rossman made the list. And that's from
That's
David
when I
Wallace.
moved. So when you were asking what I moved you and Dodd.
Yeah.
So now we're going into the top
Because
5.
I was using you
Yeah.
in my gut, and then I looked up and
Yeah.
Dodd had won a championship.
Yeah,
So
series
I moved
championship.
him
Yeah.
to 6th.
Yep. Yeah, so I had him 7th, just because he's really strong when he shows up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially, no offense, but especially when he's in his own car.
Yeah.
He is one bad mofo.
Yeah. I agree.
And then Sully, you had him 9th.
Mhm.
Any
Just-
particular reason?
Just because it's so hard to pick top 10 drivers,
Top
you
10,
could
okay.
you could shuffle the top 10 around on any given night, and if somebody's got their act together, they'll make everybody look stupid.
Yeah.
So any one of those guys in the top 10 do that.
Okay. Now number 5. We're cracking into the top 5 here. If I didn't look at anything before making my list, and you said, a gun to my head, who is the best driver?
There you go, Dave. Didn't David get an honorable mention?
No. D-Dub.
D-Dub should have been an honorable mention.
Put him on your list. You had the
No,
opportunity.
he didn't. David.
Oh,
did
no.
3 seasons.
Yeah, he hasn't done 3 seasons yet.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't mention it.
All right.
I seen him yesterday at the Mexican.
Oh, is
place.
that
Yeah.
why? Okay.
All right,
Couldn't
yeah.
get any food.
So this number
I saw that.
So this number 5 driver, gun to my head, if you said who's the best driver without looking at anything, I would have probably said this guy right away, and that is Jimmy Sivia.
Yeah.
2019 track champion, 2020 series champion. He has 13 wins, 66 top 5s, 91 top 10s, 133 starts. He was ranked 5th on my list, 3rd on Tom Brown's list, and 5th on Sully's list.
So we're all really close.
But I'm better.
Yeah,
You got it, Jimmy.
yeah. But Sully had him right on.
And right on the money.
Yeah. So basically, from here, we are all on top of each other with our numbers.
Well, I think it started before Jimmy. How do you rank these guys? It's impossible.
So
pretty much.
in my mind, if I went by my heart and mind, I'm like, Jimmy has won on every track condition. Big curb, rough,
Yeah.
bottom,
He's
lockdown.
fast.
He's adaptable.
He's
adaptable.
fast
Very
all
adaptable.
the time, right?
But then when I started to do my stats, after trying to figure, I got my drivers down, and then I was just trying to find stats to put them in order. I was like, he's actually had seasons where he's been like really high in the championship and then really low in the
He
top 10.
crashes really well too. So
Yeah,
when
well, we
when
have the champ.
when he
right here.
takes it. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Where's
yeah.
my trophy of the twisted up metal on top.
Yes, and so like once I got the stats down, I was like, okay, like this is actually one of the easiest ones to like put him.
Yeah.
So he's fifth on my list and fifth overall. So Tom, you had him third. So you just kind of.
He is super fast. Super fast. Every time I watch him, he is super fast.
Yeah.
No, he's always fast. Absolutely. No, without a doubt. We're all in agreement on that one.
Yep. He is one of the guys that when he starts in the first 2 rows, you're like,
right, you got problems.
Yep.
I watched him bike that in qualifying, that DRC, and
over in one.
In one,
yeah.
That was one of the fastest laps I think I watched in a wingless car, and then just it seemed slow mo. I'm sure for him it was instant, but
yeah,
it seemed slow mo to watch that thing bike up and then.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yep. Jessica Sivia facts. Alrighty, number 4. Now for me on my list, these 4 drivers were the hardest to put in 8 order. So bear that in mind here, and I'm sure for these guys as well. Number 4, Ryan Marshall, 2021 Series Championship. Now, question here: was the 2021 the toughest year, as in a schedule? Because if I'm not mistaken, the season opener at Wilmot had 51 cars, and then we had like 36
it was a lot of
points
cars.
Races, and we had a couple of triple headers and double headers.
Yeah.
So like
it was a tough year. I remember.
I put that down. Like I think that was the toughest year to win a championship schedule wise, because you had to be so consistent.
Not going to disagree.
Yep. Yeah. He has 11 feature wins, 44 top 5, 60 top 10s, and 81 starts.
Right, and that's not a lot of starts to do all that.
No, it's not. He was ranked 4th on my list, 8th on Tom Brown's list, and our first number 1 on Sully's list.
That's correct.
So Sully, why so high?
Why so low on yours? I guess I should be.
Well, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. Don't worry. I had him dead on. I said 4, and he 4.
There's a couple reasons. They're selfish. He was part of Team MSR, and he won Rookie of the Year with Team MSR, and he won championship with Team MSR. So that and I watched him work with, I would say, maybe not necessarily as good of equipment as some of the other guys had. Definitely not as good as shocks and not as good at other things when he was racing for me, and yet he was still able to do those things. And if you can win Rookie of the Year and then back up Rookie of the Year with a championship, that to me is a pretty impressive thing, and that's why he goes to the top of my list, and then for obviously for personal reasons too.
Okay, and then Tom, 8th.
I took away because he was not the single champion. So same thing about like Rossman. If it had happened, if we had this conversation a year ago, he would be farther down my list because he only was I don't know what we want to call it, but he was a half champ. He wasn't like when Ryan won. Ryan Zilski won also,
the
right?
track champion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
Zilski won the track champion.
I know it's all semantics, but it just was. It was a way.
And
to
it's our
list
opinions.
them out,
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And
Well, I think I know who the top 3 are that are left, but we'll go ahead and read the list.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. Number 3, David Wallace. Of our hearts.
He just
of our
fell
hearts.
off. He just,
Of our hearts.
His head just hit the computer.
All right, number 3 is the other Ryan,
Yep.
Zelski, the 2021 track champ.
Yep.
The only driver to have won a feature every year he's raced. Even the year that he ran part-time, he still won features. And he's obviously the winningest driver. 23 wins, 61 top 5s, 87 top 10s, 127 starts.
Mm-hmm.
He was 3rd on my list, 4th on Tom's list, and 3rd on Sully's list.
Correct.
The reason why he's in front of Marshall is just of the consistency of winning. Like, I know Marshall has won every year as well, but Zalski has been racing since 2017. He doesn't have a series champion, but he is the winningest driver, so that's where you start to, like, when you say who is the greatest driver, you have to ask what is your ground for grading. Is it wins, top 10s, championships? Because that's going to change the for sure the 6 down to 1, right? So that's just the reason why I put Zelski in front of Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that was painful. Like these 4 drivers.
Yeah, very hard.
So third on Sully's list.
Yeah, well, I explained why my number 1 is my number 2. You haven't read my number 2 yet, but I think everybody can deduct from who's left. Well, now that's an interesting scenario, isn't it? Wow, that's where it gets really interesting for me here.
Yeah.
So somebody that's supposed to be on this list is not on this list.
Well, we'll talk about that after we talk about.
Wow, that
the
seems a little
1.
odd to me. Somebody who's supposed to be on this list is not on this list.
I got mine.
All right. Well, we'll go over to.
Okay. So anyway, no. So anyway, I'm starting to wonder about this now. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Tom, 4th for Zelski.
Yeah, I thought exactly that. He again was a half champion, so that took away some of his.
Wait, who's he half champion with?
No.
He's half champion with Ryan.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they were.
yeah. So, they didn't tie. They didn't tie for the
Right.
championship. But
Silsky is the Wilmot champion, and Ryan is the IRA.
Oh, I see
champion.
what you're saying.
yeah.
So it's I'm using the wrong word. It's not half champion, not like.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like getting 2
Yeah,
points.
I got you.
At one point.
And we should get rid of it. It should only be 1. There should only be either an IRA Wingless champion, or there should be a Wilmot different series. The point series inside of a point series is confusing to the.
It's like the chase.
It's confusing.
This is going to get out here. Did I forget somebody from my list?
Well, we'll see here.
Because then who? Because I at one point had all these people on my list. So what the heck happened?
Tom Eller, you can't use statistics to show greatness.
That's why you got a shout out, sweetheart.
Yes, yes. All right, so
Number 2 coming in.
Number 2, which if we do number 2, I think everyone's going to figure out number 1.
Yeah.
So we will discuss both separately just to make sure that we give both drivers credit.
Okay.
Number 2, and this is going to come to you right away, so be ready, okay?
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
You remember Greg Olson, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, Tim Cox.
Okay.
2-time track champion. And really quickly, I'm not using the 1.5 champion because I feel that takes away from what they did. Like they tied, but they still ran super consistent. So Tim Cox, 2-time track champion, 2 times series champion, and that was both in 2018 and 2022.
Mm-hmm.
He has 12 wins, 76 top 5s, 120 top 10s.
Mm-hmm.
138 starts. So in 10 years, he's only had 18 non-top 10 finishes.
I didn't know stats were that good.
Apparently. I had him ranked number 1. Tom Brown had him ranked number 2.
Okay.
Where did Sully put him?
14.
14.
7.
No.
I was guessing.
Hang on, let's go back.
7.
Greg Olson, you ranked 6th. How is Greg better than the legend?
I don't know.
This is not to bully him, but I'm just sorry. Like,
Come on.
I mean, throw some respect on the man's name.
I don't really have a good answer for that.
Okay, and really quickly,
I
we
didn't
were
realize.
tied.
I didn't realize how dominant he was in those in the
every year,
statistics.
every year, but this last year.
Well, I thought that
basically.
some of the years he had some off years. I didn't know that he was so dominant, and I don't know why I had him down there. I guess maybe because
I mean, I know
don't know
he doesn't have jazz hands. He just rolls the bottom so good,
Yeah,
and it doesn't look like he's
Most
working.
patient
but,
driver.
yes,
Yeah. Waiting
yes.
for you to make a mistake.
And the worst part was
you could make an argument
Is
for me to
when
move him
you-
up on the list. Really,
when you called me.
Higher than 7?
When you
Yeah.
called me and you were like, "Hey, am I forgetting everyone?" I'm like, "Why is Tim that low?" But I'm like, "I can't, because then that's gonna mess with the way he
I don't
thinks
know.
of people." And I'm like, and he was tied with the other driver, fitting, and you were gonna be the tiebreaker, and you were the tiebreaker.
yeah. Well, I have reasons. My reasons.
All right, but yeah, so. But yeah,
my
Tim
apologies to-
Cox, the legend.
My apologies to Tim. You should have been higher on the list. It's a hard list.
He doesn't have
Yeah.
Facebook. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. Maybe his wife is watching.
But in all honesty, Tim and this other driver, which I will name here really quickly,
We all got him.
Yeah, we all got him. Heads or tails of like which way it goes.
Yeah.
Because there's an argument that I can say for this driver, which number one is Clayton Rossman.
Of course.
2023 track champion, and then won track and series in 2022 and 2023. He has 8 wins, 31 top 5s, 51 top 10s, and 63 starts. He was ranked second on
impressive.
my list, first on Tom's list, and second on Sully's list.
Correct.
The argument that if Tim went first, I could be like, yeah, Tim only has 18 finishes outside the top 10. Yeah. Right? That's my argument of why he's great.
Right.
Rossman is, as a rookie, what's the one thing you want as a rookie?
Consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency and Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets Rookie of the Year, then it backs it by a championship, and then another championship. So what else could he have done to be number one?
Did they let Tim run for Rookie of the Year? If they didn't let him run for Rookie of the Year.
Well, Tim had raced sprint cars before.
No. I'm talking about Clayton. I'm talking about Clayton.
Right. No, but I'm saying because you're using his Rookie of the Year. But if Tim wasn't eligible to run Rookie of the Year because he didn't run Wingless, I mean he ran a modified, which looked like a Wingless almost, but it was different.
He's run sprint cars there before. I don't know.
Really quickly, Joseph. Yes, Tim Cox did win Wilmot and MRA modifieds, but we're not using past classes to grade this.
He wouldn't let us use Tim's whole career.
Well, we had to make it interesting. It's the invert. Right. We got to make it exciting.
He'd have been by himself.
So if I could go back and redo the list, Taters obviously would be on my list. Shank would be on my list. Matson was on my list. Campton would be on my list. I think that Tim would be higher on my list. There's some things that I would.
But you only get one.
Now that I know the stats.
But you only get one, so think about it for a second.
And we get to move one.
And I think Klemko would be higher on my list.
I got mine. Who I subbed.
So
wait, I get to move one person on my list.
Wait. So think about it.
I get to redeem myself.
Just one.
Think about it. All right. So real quickly for everyone listening, I will run through the 15 down to 1. 15 is Jordan Matson. 14 Doug Shank. 13 Greg Olson. 12 Nathan Crane. 11 Zach Radart. 10 Alan Hafford. 9 Chris Klemko. 8 Todd Lear. 7 Derek Crane. 6 Chris Dodd. 5th Jimmy Sivia. 4th Ryan Marshall. 3rd Ryan Zelski. 2nd Tim Cox. And 1st Clayton Rossman. Facebook, if there's any driver that you should be higher or lower, just one driver, comment now. That'll be your veto of who you think is. And now you can redeem yourself. So, do you have yours, Tom?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll go with Tom first.
I would move Ryan, because I had Ryan at 8th. Ryan Marshall.
Marshall? Okay.
I had Ryan Marshall at 8th, right? 7th or 8th?
Yeah, 8th.
Yeah, he should be...
no, we're talking about the master list.
Oh.
The master list.
No, I think, well, even that, I think your 4th, 5th Ryan is perfect. So on the master, I would leave him.
Leave him? Okay. Yeah, so on the master.
I thought you meant on... Yeah. That's not redeeming myself. Redeeming myself is me updating my list. But if
it's not going to redeem myself doing the master list.
Yeah, but if I update mine and move Ryan up to like 4th or 5th, now statistically with you two guys, he might move up to 3rd.
So you'll say Marshall and Zelski should flip then if you were to do that.
No, I'm just saying in my list, I would move Marshall up.
And everybody else would move down one.
Yeah,
right.
No.
I would kick Dot down and put Marshall up in 5th or 6th.
Okay.
On my list.
Okay.
Wherever he.
But I don't know how you're going to do all those stats.
Well, we're not going to change the list. I'm just saying this is your way to backpedal a little bit.
Well, do you want me to change the master list, or I can do what Tom did?
No, the master list. So I'll go through mine. Mine is I think Lear should be outside the top 10, and I think Shank should be moved to 10th. Allen, I can only move one. So Todd out, move Chris and Allen up to 8th and 9th, and then Doug to 10th. That would be my flop or switch. So because if you were to change your list, it's going to change how all of this works. Right. But it's just easier to be like, oh yeah,
this is just a gut.
Yeah, it's just.
I'm looking at all of them, and
I'm okay with the master.
I'm content
with the master, like you said.
I think some people, because of some of the things that have happened to them in their personal life, probably had that not happened, would have been higher on the list. But other than that,
who are you talking about?
If somebody would stay off Facebook, he could not be in 12th, and he could move up.
Oh, wow!
Is he related to anybody in this room?
Well, the guy that forgets him.
Wow. Okay, so Facebook we have here David Wallace. It's easy to win if you don't play by the rules.
Who are you referring to?
Yeah, we need
Mr. Wallace. We need name names.
Yeah, you got to name
names. Wallace.
You know how the show goes.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Be a man. Man up.
Be a man.
Yeah. Ashley here says Tim Cox number 1. Again, like, yeah, it's super
Jack
tough.
says Civis top 3.
Top 3, okay.
You can't use any of. That's my issue. What Derek said is I can't use any of Tim's other stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, if you want to compare a driver,
it's hard to use
Tim
Tim's
is
other
by
stuff.
himself, and then the rest of these drivers.
If you were going on, if you would have said all time, there would have been no question.
Yeah,
Boom,
Tim.
right here,
Yeah.
Tim. I mean, it's not even.
He runs NASCAR. He runs
It's like not even a
pavement
thing.
sprints. He runs everything there is.
So it might be a little sneak peek
Wait.
into our October
Scroll
one when we do
down a little bit.
when we do Racers Career. Well, hang on, wait, we got to do it in order. Like these people are waiting.
Wallace, number 1? Okay.
Yeah, Don Wallace Zelski number 1, very good shout.
Yeah.
Tony Push Truck Tony Sivia number 1, another really good shout. Karen Porter Marshall to 5th.
Why Marshall to 5th? That doesn't make sense to
From
me.
Karen Porter.
Yeah, I understand.
David Wallace Zelski Sivia Radar Olson. I'm assuming that's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Yeah, but even her moving him to 5th is only putting Jimmy above him. So
yeah,
and I think they could be.
Because like there's
champions.
And there is a stat too that you could use that like Jimmy Sivia is the winningest heat race driver. Right. So
and they spend a lot of time around each other racing sometimes.
Yeah. And they grew up racing together too.
3, 4, and 5 are constantly on the cushion.
Yeah.
It's hard to pass.
So that's interesting. So that's not surprising. That's not surprising, Mr. Wallace.
You gotta say it for our audio listeners.
So Wallace said Zelski, Sivia, Radar, Olson, and so the Zelski and Sivia are not a surprise. Radar and Olson, I think they're both great drivers.
Yeah.
I don't know, because Olson's isn't there enough that I could put him in my top 4, and because like you said, Radar has been driving for a couple of different teams, and I think once he gets his whole season shuffled out, we've already seen how good he can be. So I can't really argue with that. Like I said at the onset, I think that I had Radar in 11th. Probably if I was on the show the same time next year, given the progress I've seen him make, he'd probably be in the top 5.
And that's the really strong thing about the Wisconsin Wingless. We could meet here 1 year from today, and based off of what's happening this year, it could change the list.
Change the list. Well, it's going to change the list.
Yeah, it's going to change.
Because we're going to talk about some of these rookies, and so the list is going to change.
Perfect segue.
Yeah. Glad to help.
All right. So one of the parameters was drivers that had to race. This is their 3rd year, they've had to run 3 years. Sorry, that's what it was. They've had to run 3 years, so that there was some consistency, so that we could use it.
Right.
So we have a very strong. Last year was probably the toughest Rookie of the Year battle with.
But
Austin.
some aren't rookies. Some are
No.
second-year guys.
Austin last year was Austin Hansen,
Okay.
Tyler Cuxhouse,
Yes.
Tristan Fursath. Okay.
Yeah.
Cuxhouse and Fursath.
Yeah.
So the thing that was really tough for me was Fursath and Cuxhouse raced previous stuff, go-karts and legends, but sprint cars are still a totally different animal, so we got to use that, right? But Austin Hansen has never raced anything before in his life, and he had 2 top 10s, and he was actually making features, right? So if you use the Rookie of the Year, like, you should be like, well, actually, out of all of them, he should get it. But Cuxhouse won a feature, and Fursath was the top rookie in the standings. So, like, all 3. So that was a really tough Rookie of the Year battle. And like I said last year, like, I'm glad I don't have to make that decision, because you could argue all the drivers. So out of the drivers that have shown up since 2022, who would you say is very possible to be making our top 10 list
for next year?
For next year,
I would say very, very possible to make.
Top 10.
2 out of the
names.
2 out of the 3 that. Well, you can put Eric Wilkie in there.
Yep, Wilkie's eligible.
So I would say to make the top 10,
you can't.
3 out of 4 could make it. Would be probable to make it.
Unless the 57 or the 7, right?
Fursath.
Yeah.
And
Cuxhouse.
7-11.
7. Oh.
Yeah, sorry. So when you said 7-11,
unless they won like 15 times,
they had a
won a
dominant
championship, they couldn't get in the top. I mean, your top 10 are multiple champions, multiple feature winners. So to break the top 10, these guys
except
have
that one guy's out of the series, another guy's only running part-time.
Yeah, but he would still be here. Oh, does he have? You're saying he's kicked out because he's not racing this year?
I would say.
No, I guess that's not right.
We're talking about Rossman because he's running his 360 and stuff.
Right.
No, that's not right because then that would kick out Todd Lear, that would kick out Doug Shank, Jordan Madison, that would kick out a lot of guys.
I do feel that if we came back a year, Rossman, if he doesn't touch a crate this year, I would be like, I feel like he should be third now because like it was like a flash in the pan almost, like really strong first 3 years and then doesn't race. Like it just kind of like recency biased. But yeah, so like Tom makes a good point. Like the top 10 is so stacked.
Maybe not on this list.
So maybe not in the top 10, but who could you argue for like 11th then? Let's just say
I would put both the 7-Eleven and the 57 in my top 15.
Boom. So Cubs House and Versa.
Sorry.
You could put the 24 in there too.
I was going to say the 24. Maybe outbeats both of them guys. Wilkie's been doing really, really, really good. His consistency is really moving up.
You ever notice how like the drivers that are like you said, Wilkie, when you watch him race, he always looks like he's in control. I know that there's some pictures out there that people are going to start sending.
Hey,
but for the most part, I feel like him, like for sure, Cox House is like 1,000% in control of his car at all times. So very good driver. Like, I mean, yeah, I think you can make an argument for all four of those drivers. So we're talking Hansen, Furseth, Cox House, and Wilkie.
Well,
I think you could make an argument that they're all would be pushing 11.
There's also some guys that are racing out there that are getting better every year that are eventually going to get themselves into the top 5 and top 10 in the points pretty soon. And one of them is Bryce Andrews. You have to add to that list.
Bryce Andrews.
Even though he's done it for more than 2 years, he gets better. Just like Tyler got better every time he was in the car. Eric got better every time he was in the car. Versa too. Same could be said for Bryce. A lot of people were giving Bryce some crap early on, and I think that he's shown that he's overcome that. He's really young, especially when he started, and every week he gets smoother and he gets better. And he goes other places to race, which makes you faster. And he's a track record holder.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put him in there. Sorry, I forgot you on my list, Bryce. So there's your big shout out.
Yeah. Real quickly, Zach Radar says should be fun. Full year. Zach Radar's gonna be racing for the full time for the first time.
Yeah.
I did not realize that Zach has not raced a full season with, so that is very dangerous for everyone else.
No, he runs good.
That's what I'm saying. It's very dangerous for the guys because he runs so good.
Zach's commenting on there. Zach should comment: is the car okay? Because it was having troubles the first practice session. It wasn't starting or wasn't running.
But that's the time for it not to.
No, it's perfect that it happened during practice. So as long as he's got the bugs worked out, he's always super fast.
Well, okay. How long does this show go? It's already 8:08.
I know we're a little bit over.
Are we running over?
We're running. We'll go a little bit more, but we'll have to start wrapping up shortly because we still have secret news from Tom Brown.
Oh, that's right. Then you know what? Maybe I'll shelve this for another time. I was thinking it might be fun to predict who might be the top 5 in the class next year.
He's got one coming in October.
Since
it's going to use their whole racing career and all kinds of
stuff. Okay, well, since some have left the series, some are part-timing the series. I think Ryan Zelski's going to be
part-time
running with a wing a lot of the time with a 410. Clayton's in 360. Tim's part-time. So that leaves Marshall and Sivia is your only full-time 2 top 5 drivers right now. And then some of these guys here, Mr. Crane, are you running the full schedule? Part-time, so you're
running full-time Wilmot, though.
Full-time Wilmot, but not series.
Right.
Yeah.
So you won't be in the top 5 in the series. Dodd won't be more than he might. I mean, maybe out depends on how much he runs. Todd Lear. So there's a lot of people we could determine that like a top 10 in the series, not a top 10 of all time.
Zach Radar really quickly clapped back. He said 4th quick at Plymouth. She's running good.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad. Zach. He's a good customer. He buys lots of tires.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, that would be fun. So we're gonna start wrapping up the show here, but Tom Brown has some very secret news. That's not
Secret,
gonna be. That's
yes.
not gonna be secret anymore.
It's not going to be
It's not a secret
It's
to
gonna be
us three.
published. We put it on our Facebook page.
You just had to figure it out,
So
right?
if anybody figured out what that picture was, it was just a picture with some colors in it. And a lot of people know. I've informed the track and our crew. One thing, Mike is not running with us anymore. Mike decided to
I have
retire again.
I have sold my portion of the team to Tom,
and he's retired
and
again.
I am officially semi-retired again.
And he retires, and then he says, "But if I want back in,
Well,
and then I say, you are always welcome. Mike is
Thank you.
always welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We love Mike. And so we're going to change the name to Team DBR. And if you want to know what that is, you have to ask one of the crew guys, because the crew guys will do it.
Yep.
We are going to run not a ton. We're going to run like maybe 5 to 8 winged events and 4 or 5 wingless events.
Okay.
We might show up with a wing every week and take it off and run wingless if
Car counts or whatever.
or whatever we want
right,
to run.
yeah.
Right.
But Saturday, May 11th, we'll have Tim Cox
Who's he?
in our
the guy that I
wing
screwed
car.
up on my list.
Right. So Tim, that was the hint with the
Who's getting in
yellow
my old
and the
car and
purple.
running with a wing on it?
So
Nice.
Tim will be running with us in the wing. So Saturday he'll be running double duty. He'll be in his wingless
And he'll be
in our wing.
the team DBR.
The Team DBR. So that was our big news that Tim decided to come over and run some races with us. We thought it would be cool to have, like Sully, who's been in my family for almost 40 years.
Well, you got to go out and
and-
tell people how old I am almost.
Right. And Mr. Cox and mine we're like second cousins once removed.
Pretty
and,
much. Yeah.
We've
We've all known each other.
Family.
We've all known each other for
Yeah.
a really long time.
So he's
Yeah.
part of our family, so he's going to come over and run with us. So that was our big news. And then the last news that we had to share was everybody on Facebook needs a comment about Derek's hair when he won the feature.
Tell him to stick a hat. Tell him to stick a hat in
If
his
you're gonna win
britches.
the feature, you
Tell
need
him-
to put that in.
Are you allowed to flip off the camera, Mr. Wallace?
Almost 56. Yeah, right.
Hey, Mr. Wallace. It's too bad we couldn't get into both of our racing careers because I would have given you some more to talk about. But maybe another time. I don't know.
Yeah, so everybody give Derek a good job for winning the feature and having that.
Let's give him a
afro.
nice hat to shove in
Somebody
his
should
pants.
smack
and
that
his
poodle
suit.
off his head when he
Yeah.
shows up in the feature. I'm sure his wife was commenting too. So.
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, next time you plan on winning the feature, bring a hat." And I was like,
That is
Extremely almost.
I told you I was going to get so much from Eller
Yeah.
and Wallace about Boone. That's why I didn't want to talk about it.
"Yeah, it'll be on the bonus. It'll be on the bonus." Thank you, David Wallace, for the good job.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we have
since you
bonus
brought it up,
covers.
yep. So since you brought it up real quick, I will talk about that for the live. So we show up to Circle City late because we hit traffic in O'Hare, at State Line, the Ileana State Line, and then obviously downtown Indy traffic. And I'm like, we're pushing pill draw, and if you miss driver's meeting, you got to start in the back. And I'm like, this is gonna suck driving 4.5 hours just to start in the back now.
Yeah.
So make it there and go to driver's meeting as everyone's unloading, and they're like, yeah, so we got Victory Lane. It's on the spectator side, the grandstand side. So winner and second and third go to the tech, which is by the scales, and then the winner, once he passes, he'll get pushed to Victory Lane on the grandstand side. And I was just like, I just don't want to get run over.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really no, like, I didn't really think we were going to be that fast out of the gate, really.
Well,
So
congratulations.
thank you.
And
Yeah.
the first guy from around here, I think, to win a race this season, right? Nobody's won a race this season anywhere, have they?
No, they all got rained
They
out.
got-
Everybody's got rained out, right? And
Yeah.
nobody's traveled yet, right?
Oh, Bryce did. but
Bryce has.
He's
yeah.
been running with 410s.
So congratulations,
Yeah,
you're the
first
first around here winner of the season.
Thank you. Jessica said,
Do you know what you get?
It's that
You get
59.
one of these. This is what you get.
So I walked back from driver's meeting, and I'm like, yeah, there's no shot that we're going to win it. So I don't tell anybody, any of my crew, about Victory Lane. And then we're coming across the line for the checker, and I'm like, they have no idea what to do. So
Kyle
maybe
will figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. Just please don't run on the track. Please just don't run on the track. But yeah, Circle City did a great. They moved the show along really quickly because Victory Lane's outside the track. So you go to Tech, they start the next feature. When you pass, you roll up to Victory Lane.
Like
So if there's a yellow,
yeah.
if there's a yellow or red, then they do your interview. If
Yeah.
not, you wait till that feature's over. They'll do you real quick and get you out. So like it moves the show along pretty good. But I don't think it's a good idea for Wilmot. I don't think they have laid out the right way for that to happen.
You'd
So
be in the track.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
Talk about booze.
Everybody's asking.
Jimmy, Sibby, I'll take it to be top 5. You got to be good in all
Including
aspects. Including crashing.
Yeah.
I should have been in top 5 by default.
Right.
That's the
Oh,
case.
that's what we should have done with Sully on here. Top 5 or our top 10 flips.
I think I would have been
He would have been
number
first,
1.
third, and
first,
sixth.
first, second, and fourth or something.
Yeah. You made crashing look so good. Oh man, guys. Well, Tom Brown, who would you like to thank?
So my sponsors is Jacqueline Black Associates, Next Gen Pumps, of course, and we have your Hoosier Tires, but mainly Derek and Wilmot, and they've been improving things, and I'm hoping that having a racetrack that close to us, I'm hoping everything goes really well and they're successful, and the ambulance crew, good job, guys.
Yep. So, who would you like to thank?
Well, I'd like to thank whoever came up with that ice cream thing that I saw with the soft serve and the ice cream nacho thing, because I'm going to get one of those right away. I hope that somebody can figure out how to put together a good Chicago dog next year. I'm excited for that. I know I'm talking about food, but that's kind of it's kind of one of my favorite things. I'm getting a little hungry.
I'm the fat guy.
I love racing and food. No, I hope that everything runs smoothly next year. I think it's going to be fun to watch and be a spectator. I have some things that will probably be announced in another show, and then there's a 3 guys that I'm helping out a little bit this year, not a ton, and got some other stuff going on that we'll be doing this year. So
Awesome. Alrighty. On our side, I'd like to thank Next Gen Pumps, Pullman Auto, Rouge Helmets, Painters Plus, Bain Nelson, RevTech, Pinnacle Media Productions, Ashley Bree Photography, Jack's Helmet Designs, Daybreak Church, Mirror Image Coatings, Toro Tents, Hold My Beer, and Bricks and Minifigs. Special thanks to my beautiful wife, Ashley, Mom and Dad, Mark and Gail, Dave, Maddie, Jimmy, I.E., Brandon, Big One fan, Kyle, Nathan, Cooper, Lauren, just everyone that makes this thing go.
I'd like to shout out one more thing. I'd like to shout out for 2 of my super fans, and I'm theirs as well, and that's Mr. Wallace and Mr. Eller. Always hassling me. I'd expect nothing less.
So
Always busting the coconuts.
That's why the comments are rowdy tonight.
There's a shout out. There's a shout out to those clowns.
Yep.
As I'm one as well. So.
Oh man! All right, and then also special thanks to my youngest brother Caleb. And Caleb, your secret word of the episode is Sully. You would have topped the crash chart.
I would top the crash chart.
And we'll see how long that takes him to text me that. It's pretty quickly usually. It's usually a day. So awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Not something I'm proud of.
Hey, it's pretty good. And then before we leave, our next guest hint, which is May 20th, we talked about him tonight.
We talked about everybody tonight.
He is 5th on the master list. 5th, and that is
The Civ.
the Civ.
The Civ is coming.
Yeah.
All right.
Not the big Civ, but
Little Civ.
but not the little Civ.
Oh, no.
The medium
The
Civ.
little
No,
Civ
we're
is
talking
right,
Jimmy.
Little Civ is one
Right.
of the feature
Yes,
this
yes.
year.
No.
He just won today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
congrats, Colin, on
Yeah,
your feature
congrats.
win.
Yeah, he's killing it. No, that'll be that's must see TV.
But we're talking to Jimmy. Maybe Colin will be here. Maybe. But we're the main attraction is
He's
Jimmy
booked up
Sibia.
with all his marketing.
Yeah.
He's got homework to do.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on the show, man.
Well, thank you guys
Thanks,
so much
Ed.
for coming in. Thank you guys
Thanks
so
for
much
being a great
tuning
teammate
in.
Team owner.
And we will see you on May 20th, 7 p.m. Central with Jimmy Sibia. Peace out.
Peace.